There's actually quite a bit to talk about since the last time we've talked about Kendrick and the potential for his new album this year. About 2 weeks ago, in my video going through Eminem's subreddit, which, by the way, when we do get close to a Kendrick Lamar album, let me know if you would like to see a video doing a similar thing, going through Kendrick Lamar's subreddit. But in that video, going down Eminem's, I saw, I'll probably put it up on screen, I saw a guy predicting that Kendrick is going to drop his album on the 5th. What we actually ended up getting was on the 4th, we got the Not Like Us video, where at the beginning of that, he teased a completely different song in a very similar style to Not Like Us. Very, very LA sound, very bouncy club record. And the snippet now exists on YouTube called Broccoli. I really like this snippet. I've listened to it a handful of times, and it really just gets me excited for the potential of a new Kendrick album sooner than we might expect. So far, the prevalent theory is that it's going to be an entirely LA-based album. Maybe we'll get some LA rappers featuring on it. We'll definitely get that sound that we've been getting the past couple of songs. Heart of LA, DJ Mustard producing it. A lot of people are thinking that DJ Mustard might be producing the whole project. I remember in that Eminem video, there was a lot of people hoping that we would get a Kendrick feature on the Eminem album. We were hoping that we would get Kendrick's take on the biggest rap beef in the past decade, but he's actually quite silent on the matter. He didn't really stand one way or the other, aside from a couple of subtle bars. And I know that Royce da 5'9", when that came out on, I think it was Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, speaking for him and Marshall, saying that they don't stand in any particular direction for or against Drake or Kendrick. I don't really have much of a take on that, to be honest. It's just interesting. It would be crazy to see if we could get West Coast rappers on here like Snoop Dogg, or we'll definitely get Baby Keem, you know, we know that for sure. If he's going for a lot less like conceptual and a lot more like hard, which is the way it seems like we're not going to go so much get conceptual Kendrick like we usually do. We're going to get Kendrick in his bag, you know, a lot more flex rap, because that's what worked for him. Not Like Us is now his most streamed number one to date, his longest standing number one to date, passing up Humble, which was also a lot more of like a bouncy, like not really caring kind of track. Every time Kendrick switches up from his like more conceptual, like the stuff that we expect from Kendrick Lamar, every time he switches up from that, it's wildly successful. I could definitely see him getting someone like YG, or maybe like Roddy Ricch or Vince Staples. These are all like very West Coast guys that can go both ways, right? Can have something to really talk about on the track, but also at the same time, you could hear them in the club. I could totally expect seeing like SZA on here, because she's just massive, an icon. They've done plenty of successful stuff in the past. This could potentially be Kendrick's best album commercially and debatably conceptually, if he's able to cross the two types of Kendrick Lamar that everybody knows and loves. This could be his number one album overall. Not Like Us, definitely the biggest song this year, and it doesn't seem like anybody's getting tired of it yet, or at all. Like, okay, I just saw this video, but the point still stands. Okay, the point still stands. All I see is more and more people loving Not Like Us, and it's a catchy track. I don't mind listening to it all the way through. Every time I hear it, I am not tired of it for a second. I don't know what it is about the track, but I am not tired of it for a second. When he played it 6 times at that concert, like at the Amazon show, it was just dope. Every second of it, every time he played it, it just got better and better. It's really a phenomenal track. It's a phenomenal event. And the best part is, it's coming after, if everything that he says about Drake is true, it's coming after a real monster that nobody seems to have known the full caliber of exactly what Drake was capable of and doing in the industry. Drake's been having a rough year, yo. I know y'all just saw the video of his house being flooded in Toronto. I guess they're having a lot of storms in Toronto. Until I saw that video, I was not even aware of that, to be honest. But yeah, Drake's having a rough year. It's really, really unfortunate for the guy, but it seems like a lot of it he's done it to himself. I know we just saw Lil Wayne come out at his show and perform Not Like Us, and the way that it was received was that he was doing it in a mocking sort of way to befriend his buddy Drake, you know, to stand with Cash Money, which really just kind of sucks, to be honest. I kind of wish that Wayne was on the correct side, but it makes sense that he's backing his friend. That's probably the main thing that we should focus on, is that Wayne is a very loyal dude. But it's crazy because, especially because like the whole rhetoric about how Drake stole his girl when he was locked up and everything, but yet he's still coming out on the side of Drake when Kendrick was in some way defending Wayne's honor. I'm sure that there's a lot more going on in private, especially how close Lil Wayne and Drake are. I saw that Kendrick had just passed Drake in streams overall, which is wild. Who would have thought? Like at the beginning of this beef, everyone was like, of course Drake has numbers that Kendrick just cannot have. Kendrick is now surpassed Drake. I mean, of course there is like awards and like there's a ton of legacy that is just impossible to top with Drake. He's just been dominating for the past decade. But in this current moment, Kendrick is a bigger artist than Drake, which is just nuts to think about. Just because of this beef, he literally leapfrogged. But yeah, I think that a West Coast, like the soul of West Coast, like inspired album from Kendrick would be really cool, especially because he just had like all of West Coast unite at his show. It doesn't matter what side you're on, what gang you're on, they all united for hip-hop and for the West Coast in honor of Pac and taking down Drake. Because I mean, I know that, I mean, of course Kendrick has repped the West Coast since he came out. He's been like, his whole like infamous story is that when he was a child, he saw Dr. Dre and Tupac driving down Compton, and he swears that he locked eyes with Tupac. He swears that that happened. And that's kind of like the origin of Kendrick, you know, the thought that he can come up from nothing and become the biggest hip-hop artist in the world, and that's exactly what he's done. But yet we have never really gotten Kendrick, beside from a little bit here and there, we've never really gotten just like straight West Coast Compton Kendrick coming out exactly how he is. He was always the good kid in a mad city, you know, he was always the kid that kind of separated himself from everything that was like the ignorant gang activity in Compton and all this. But now, thanks to this Drake beef, we've gotten Kendrick going back to his city, being in the heart of Compton, being in LA, and really showing love to the place that made him. Not like he hasn't before. He's done that many different times on different tracks, but we just haven't gotten West Coast Kendrick in the way that we have right now. And so this gives us a massive opportunity for a Kendrick that feels very, very specific to repping the West Coast and Compton, and finally, almost, I don't want to say finally being accepted, because I think he's been accepted, but he's almost gotten that Eminem effect where it's like, who actually listens to, it's not almost, he literally has gotten that Eminem effect where people are like, who actually is bumping Kendrick in the car? And it's like, then people go on to list every club banger that Kendrick has made. It's like, he's not that guy. You're not going to win with the Eminem argument on Kendrick. But after this album, I think that it would be unanimous that Kendrick isn't that guy. That he's not the guy that only gets bumped in secret. He doesn't, and he's always had an issue. He himself has admitted it, and his fan base and the people that aren't fans of Kendrick have always said it, that he has like a predominantly white woke fan base that doesn't actually, like, you know, show up to hip hop shows or actually care about the message that Kendrick is spitting. It's just that Kendrick is the guy to spit the message. It's really nuanced take, and I don't fully believe in it, trying to say that Kendrick has only white fans, and to even say that Kendrick's fans don't show up to shows, because he sold the most successful hip-hop tour of like last year. But I think that Kendrick is really going to have the best of both worlds if this album shapes up to be what we think it could, or what it's looking like it's going to be. Let me know how hyped y'all are for this Kendrick album. Let me know what you think about what you think it's going to look like, who might be on it, if you think I'm at all accurate with what I'm saying here. But that's really all I got for this video, y'all. I love y'all. Let me know. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you've gotten this far into the video. I fucking love you, and have a good rest of your day. Doses.
You know, Mort, I think you're beginning to grow.
Well, sir, I don't know how much value I have in this universe, but I do know that I made a few people happier than they would have been without me, and as long as I know that, I'm as rich as I ever need to be. So I'll catch you on the rebound, your magnitude. Until next week, Nanu. Nanu.